Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday morning, so this is Stash Buster Live at A Piece of You in Bay City, Michigan. And this is where I kind of tell you a little bit about what I've been working on, what's coming up, what we have in the store. And usually I give you a pattern to use up some of your stash. Yes, which is always important. We all have stash. It's just part of being a crafter. Hi, Priscilla. Good to see you. It is a sunny day in Bay City. It's brisk, but it's sunny, so I'm going to take the win for that. Hi, Sandy. It's supposed to warm up later, so I'm kind of excited about that. Hi Cheryl. I am wearing my fancy sweater in Woolstock Tweed, and one reason I wore it is because I'm featuring Woolstock Tweed in another pattern today. So, hi Doreen. Good to see you. Good morning, good morning. I love all the emojis. That's always fun. I decided I was just gonna get out of my slump. I am no longer watching the news. I watch it for the weather, and that's about it. Hi, Sue. I can't control anything that goes on in the government, so I just decided I'm just gonna I'll listen in the background, but I'm not gonna listen intently because it was making me so miserable. Hi, Deanne. Hi, Liz. Good morning to you. Hi, Jean. And you will see a little bit of change in some of our assortment, I guess is what I want to say. Hi, Linda. We might have more of something and a little less of something else. It is nice that some of our vendors have said, hey, the tariffs won't go on until, the end of this month, so grab what you can now. So we've been trying to do that. So you are going to see a little bit more stock in a few things. Hi, Jeannie. Just so that I can keep our prices down, And I do know that we have gotten some of our vendors have said, we're getting the tariffs, and we are going to pass it on to you. Luckily, it's not our biggest vendors, so that is a positive thing. Hi, Deb. Good to see you. Hi, Margaret. And a lot of our vendors did stock up. They did stock up, so for a little while, we are a little bit insulated. So that is good, too. Speaking of stocking up, I noticed Margaret and Suzanne ordered an extra skein of something they were working on. They came in on Sunday and bought some stuff. And what I do want to tell you guys is keep your tags. Keep your tags when you're making something until you get done with it. Because if it's a Berroco product, a lot of times, or a Berroco Lang, I think Lang is the only one else that we do of theirs, they will actually look in their warehouse and try and find that same dye lot. It's not always a given, but sometimes they will. So keep your tags until you're done with the project. Then you can throw them away or do whatever you do with them. Hi, Jillian. Good to see you. Because that's important. We do not keep track of what dye lot that you purchased. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Jackie. So, that's up to you. So if you keep it. Now, if it's anybody else besides Lang or Berroco, it's good to have it so we can search on our shelf if we still have it, but those companies do not do drop ship. So, hi Peggy, good to see you. So we have to buy a whole new bag. And so that's the scoop with that. But that is a wonderful thing that Berroco does for us. And we love it, and we do try to take advantage of it. So I know we've had a few people have had to get an extra skein. It happens sometimes. You decide to make it a little bit. I have a lighter sweater on today. No, I actually have a heavyweight sweater on today. This is Woolstock Tweed. It is from Blue Sky Fibers. It is a bulky weight, but you know what? I love it for this kind of weather when it's chilly in the morning because I don't really have to wear a coat. I did today, but I just wore a vest. You don't have to wear anything heavy. And I know that Sheila, one of our customers, she loves her Woolstock tweed because she wore it like all winter instead of a coat. So that works out well. I would be too freezing, but that's okay. Hi, Donna. Good to see you. This is the fancy sweater. I did the rolled neck instead of the double thick ribbed neck. So that's my scoop there. Hi, Peggy. All right, I'm going to show you what I'm working on before the girls get here. Hang on. Hi, Paulette. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, I do wanted to say this one thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be 60 here, but it's cold right now. It's like 20. These are the colors of Cricut that I have left. I have golden, which I didn't really show up close. It's got all kinds of fun little things in here. That's golden. I have mulberry, 2 skeins of cream, some tomato, 3 skeins of moss, 5 skeins of light gray, and 3 skeins of navy, and 1 skein of black. Those are part of our flash sale. All the other colors are gone. Now, someone asked me, I apologize, I don't remember who it was. I did answer them. Will we be getting this in again soon? And I said, probably not for a little while. 1, it's a wintertime yarn, and 2, for some reason, tweeds don't go over very well. And I don't know why. We do have a whole bunch of kits for Lorena's sweater, which is beautiful, and I love the color combinations. So watch the live from Tuesday night and go ahead and get one of those. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Eddie. I have a new project. I am working on the light fall sweater. Isn't this cool? Zanette Knits. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but she does a lot of top-down sweaters. And so I now follow her. And I think this one is really cool. It's really cool. I am going to say that I did the top part, and this will loosen up when I block it. I did the top part in a size 7 needle, which is what she told me I needed to do to get gauge. And that is what I needed to do to get gauge. But it's so tight, it was like a snowsuit. So when I got to this part, when I got to the chart, I went to an 8 because it's all kind of this pseudo rib stuff. And I figure, well, worst case, it'll stretch out or not stretch out or do whatever it needs to do. So I think it's really cool. This is a pattern that I always suggest putting a marker between repeats. Just makes your life easier. And it is supposed to have a ribbed neck on it, but Sheila and I talked. Sheila is working on this also. And she said a lot of people just did a little rolled neck. So that's kind of what I did. Now, I could pick that up and put some ribbing on it if I decided to do that at the end, because that's when she wants you to do it. So we'll see. I'm probably going to do a rib neck or a rolled neck because those are the kind of necks I like. It looked huge in my lap. It's not, partly because it's ribbing. But this is a really cool one because it's all through the back loop kind of ribbing type of thing. So I'm going to tell you, there are a couple things on this one. One, you're doing 1 black for 18 stitches. That was fun. I contemplating doing duplicate stitch, which means you just take your yarn and like almost embroider over it, which I could have done. I decided to just do a long float. Well, I actually decided to catch my floats. And that's when I learned, and I don't know if everyone has this issue. I'm hoping Sheila comes this morning so I can ask her. With the knit through the back loop, it's harder to hide your floats. Okay? I didn't even think about that, but it is. It's very hard to hide your floats. And So I just did my floats, 5-6 stitches. It's not a big deal. Oh, you've knit one of ours. Great, Donna. And so I just made sure that I stretched it, when I had a float, to make sure that, I tell you this every time, make sure it's not tight. You don't have to stand up real tight, real straight when you wear your sweater. But I'm glad I went up a needle. I'm doing this part on an 8 because I thought if I do it on a 7 and just the stockinette is this snug, this is going to be like a nightmare. So, and it was hurting my hands. So I thought, you know what? It's my sweater. If it's a little big, it's a little big. No big deal. I thought about it, but I don't know with the knit through the back loop. I don't know if it would work. Jillian is asking about the ladder back jaggered, and that is a way to catch your floats when your floats are really long. I personally have not tried it, and this with the knit through the back loop was, I don't know. I did think about it, and I don't know if it would work. That's all I can say. I didn't try it, but I didn't think it would. So I just made longer floats and just dealt with it. It's only 2 rows. So, because it was 1 row and then you had another one here, so you really only had a long float here. I figured it's only for a couple of rows, so I wasn't going to worry about it. As long as I kept it stretchy, it was not a big deal. And then what I'm going to say is when I go to block this, I am going to pull on some of these to make them not show. Some of my floats were kind of showing on the front, so I'm going to kind of just work that when I go to block it. The other thing I'm going to tell you, her chart is really easy to understand. Really easy, but I'm going to get up close here. All right, this flat line is a purl, okay? This little scoopy thing is a knit through the back loop, which kind of makes sense, It's a twisted stitch. And then these X's are, there is no stitch, okay? As you can see, I took a pen and I went through the there is no stitch part and got rid of them, because my brain could not function with this flat should be a bump. It's not a bump. It's flat. This ridge should be a purl, but it's a knit through the back loop. Now, what I should have done is I should have taken the straight ones and highlighted them in pink or something, for pink is purl. That would have been a lot easier. My brain, every time I came to the X, I had to go, what in the world does an X mean? Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to do anything. Okay. And so that was the only thing that I really had a hard time with. I oftentimes I didn't on this one because I didn't have a highlighter handy, but I will oftentimes, especially like for the increases here, I will often highlight them. 1, so I remember to do them. 2, so they're just real quick and easy. Oftentimes if I'm doing cables and it has like a right cross, left cross, I'll make all the right crosses red, pink, and all the left crosses green. Just so in my head, I remember to do something different. I am already on row 35. I'm going to split it's only 3 rows more, and I'm going to split for the arms. I did bring it in today to find out if my arms are about in the right spot, because it is a little bit big. It's bulky in my lap because it's a thicker material with all the knit through the back loops. So, but I think it's so cool. I can't wait. But what she's doing is she's having you break for your arm, your sleeves, before you're done with the chart. Because it said, oh, you go till 38. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do with the rest of it? Just cut it off? No, that's where you split for your sleeves. So that makes more sense. Not a problem. I can do that. So it helps if you keep reading the pattern. But I grew up, I was kind of taught, work the pattern as you go along. Don't read the whole thing because sometimes it freaks you out. And so that was my scoop. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is not an inexpensive sweater, okay? But I think it's a fashion statement. I think it's like so cool. I am using Woolstock Tweed in Rolled Oats and Midsummer Night. So I'm doing the white with the black. Sheila is doing Cactus Flower and Plum Brandy. And I pulled out a couple other combos. This one is, let me see what it is. Wild Mushroom and Deep Earth. Those would be cool together. And I'm sticking with the tonals. This one is Prairie Sky. Woolstock Tweed has weird names, so that's why I have to look at them. And Blue Lichen. And then I did pick one that is not, you know, kind of like that. This one is a light gray, which is Silver Birch. And then I love this color. I've used this a few times. Olive Branch. So I thought these were really pretty. I am using, I think it's 3 and 6. So 3 of this and 6 of these. I am in the third white. I didn't know if I would need it, but I do. Okay. All right. Before I get to other things, I do want to go back to what I first started talking about, is that it's a very stressful time in the U.S. right now. And guess what? It's always nice to be working on something that has nothing to do with what's going on with the economy and all that kind of stuff. So I wrote myself a little note here today. We have open knit, and you can crochet while you're here. Open knit on Thursday mornings from about 10:30 to 12:30. We also have it Tuesday night from about 5:30 to 7:30. And it's always good to just relax, be with other people, and just do something besides dwell on everything that's going on in the world. Okay. Okay. The other thing I had to talk about, I want to get this in first, is that some of you may have seen that Love Crafts just bought Jimmy Bean's wool. Okay. I talked to my rep, and she said, because Jimmy Bean's wool carries Madeline Tosh, Dream in Color, Jameson's, a whole bunch of yarns that we don't carry, and also the Delaque bags, there's going to be no changes. Barocco's main company was bought by Love Crafts last year. There were no changes. So I just wanted to make sure that there weren't any changes. Don't worry about it. We can still get all of that yarn. Nothing's happening, all that good stuff. Okay, so that's my scoop. All right, I do have something that I warned you guys about this on Tuesday night. We can get this brand new kit. It will retail for $95. It's for Mother's Day. These are aluminum 2-inch tips, and they are in like rose gold and silver. They go 2.5 to 10, and you get all these little other things. You get some stitch stoppers and some cords and different things like that. So I thought it was kind of cute. I need to know if you guys want this, and I can bring it in. They're in stock with our vendor. But I don't want to bring them in if you don't want them. They are aluminum needles, okay? They are metal needles. They're from Knit Pro. They will work with all of our cords that are Likey, Dreams, Mindful, all those kind of cords. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in these, and I can bring them in. I think they're kind of cool. They do our zippered. They're the 2-inch set, which is very similar to, you know, our little Dream set. So it'll work with these cords and all that kind of stuff, but those are metal. They are, aluminum. So that would be kind of fun, because I know we don't have a lot for those of you who like metal needles. We are getting a metal needle starter set, like, I just have to walk around when I do these lives, like these. The Likeys are coming out with a metal version. And hi, Carol. Hi, Kathy. And they said they would be here in August, so we're going to say December because we know how shipping goes and all that good stuff. I do not have a price on those yet. As of when we ordered them, they were going to be the same price as our other Likey starter sets. So, and we did get the 4-inch, the 5-inch, the 5-inch, the 4-inch, and I think the 2-inch. So I think we got all of them. And they have really cool cases, so that's kind of fun. Okay, now you're seeing a little glimmer of something you are going to see. It doesn't go with this pattern. This is something I'm working up for local yarn store day, because if you're in the You See It First on Monday, you're going to get a sneak peek of some of the yarns that we're bringing in for local yarn store day. We're doing a whole bunch of one-of-a-kinds with Madeline Tosh and their fingering weight. So I thought I would put together a sample. We're going to have a couple other samples at local yarn store day. And we are going to do a special local yarn store day. If you don't know already, it's been all over everywhere, is the last Saturday. I think it's April 26th in April. And we are, because it tends to be a little busier in the store, we're going to do a Facebook Live, since so many of you are not local, but you're our loyal customers. We're going to do a Facebook Live on Friday. And so that way you can join in the fun. If we did it on Saturday, then people might be taking it off the table while you're buying it, and because they're one-of-a-kinds, it's going to be hard. Okay, that's my scoop. All right. I do have a free pattern. It's called Feeling Groovy, and I thought this was kind of cute. It is 530 yards of DK weight, 600 yards of fingering weight. So you could potentially get, and whenever it says US 2.5, I always go to a 3, unless I really don't like the gauge, and then I go to a 2, but it's a little cowl. So I thought this one was kind of cute. We're always going to try during these times of uncertainty and funness, we are always going to try and give you a project that is in our lives, a project that's going to use your brain, and a project that is going to be brainless. And that one would be a good brainless one. This one is, you do have to use your brain a little bit for this one. Hi, Mercina. But it's not hard. And once you got past a little ways, like you actually here, once you got past here, you didn't even really have to pay attention because it was all the same. And so I thought that was fun, and I can't wait for it to be done. I can't wait to see what happens. So I am just a little ways from splitting for the sleeves, and it's an optical illusion, but it's actually 10 inches from the back long, which I normally do a 9-inch, but it's probably 9 inches in the front. So I'm okay. I'm just going to do the next 3 rows and then split for the sleeves and then continue on the chart. And I think she does a great job with how much yarn you're going to need also. So, but yes, because I have, let me see what I have. Oh, I have quite a bit of the white left, but I have quite a bit of the chart left. So I think I'm going to use most of that. So I think it'll be fun. And I think that was all that I had. We are live on Saturday. And remember, the reason I showed you this table over here, this is our flash table. You don't have to be in a You See It First. You don't have to be in anything. You just have to use Flash 2. As your coupon, if you're ordering online, we have our spring yarn tasting kits included in the flash sale. They are $12 in the flash sale. The Cowborn Woolens Cricket is $19.20 from $30. Not a bad deal. And we have some sport weight sock yarn, which makes great hats, socks, scarves, shawls, whatever you need it to. And then I have 3 skeins of this great fingering weight, which is $9.60 on the sale table. So that's our scoop. If you don't understand how to do coupon codes and all that kind of stuff, feel free to call us. We're here for you. And Emma, Marilyn, Lorena, or I can help you out and get that all taken care of. Tomorrow, these sets will go back on the shelf. So make sure you get those. I can't wait to wear mine. I think maybe by a couple weeks I might be able to wear that. So, and so that's my scoop. I'm going to get home and keep knitting on my sweater, so hopefully I can show you next week how much fun I'm having. And I have to work on this because it has to be done by next week. Oh, one thing I do want to say, we are open on Friday. I know it's Good Friday, but we are open on Friday. We are also open on Saturday. I know it's Easter on Sunday. We are open on Saturday, so come on in. And we are also open on Monday. So that is my scoop. You guys have a great day. Let me know if you're interested in this set. I know the picture's blurry. That's just how it printed. And we'll go from there. If you're interested in one of these kits, feel free to call the store and we can make sure you get your kit. So I am going to warn you, it's not a cheap set. So, but I think it's so cool. And it's really using my brain. So sometimes I think that's good. That's my scoop. The girls are coming in, so that means that's my clue to stop talking. I will see you guys soon, and have a great day. Bye.